But I can't deny that a big part of me cares deeply about what's happening in the country, and what I fear is the damage that's being done to our future, the damage being done to our values,
How are you doing now, and what are the metrics by which you know how you're doing on any given day?
Personally, I'm doing well.
Lock her up is still a big popular line.
I believe he knows he's an illegitimate president. He knows that there were a bunch of different reasons.
Why Hillary Clinton just opened her mouth and Trump completely lost his mind. Like, actually lost it. We're talking all caps rants on Truth Social within minutes. And TV appearances where he looked like his head might explode. What exactly did Hillary say that triggered such a nuclear meltdown from our former president? Well, that's exactly what we're diving into today. And trust me, it's both more ridiculous and more revealing than you'd expect. The reaction might be even more damaging than the statement itself. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video.
You know, it's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country. Can fact check him in real time. Last time at the first debate, we had millions of people fact checking, so I expect we'll have millions more fact checking because
you'd be in jail.
Secretary Clinton.
Clinton just dropped what might be the most perfectly timed political grenade we've seen this year, and our favorite orange-tinted former president completely lost his marbles over it. What makes this whole thing so delicious is how perfectly Clinton set her trap. She wasn't just answering some random interview question, she was executing a masterclass in how to get under Trump's paper-thin skin. When Clinton appeared on that interview, she didn't give the usual boring political answer everyone expected. Instead, she leaned in. You could almost see the twinkle in her eye and delivered what one observer called half revelation, half nuclear bomb. The statement wasn't shouted or delivered with any drama. Nope, it was calm, collected, and absolutely devastating classic Hillary move. She knows exactly how to twist the knife without even raising her voice.
Why the election turned out the way it did, and I take responsibility for those parts of it that I should, but Jane, it was like applying for a job and getting 66 million letters of recommendation and losing to a corrupt human tornado, and history will probably sort it all out. So of course he's obsessed with me, and I believe that it's a guilty conscience in so much as he has a conscience. So I know that he knows that this wasn't on the level. I don't know that we'll ever know everything that happened, but clearly we know a lot and are learning more every day. And
real magic happened in what came next. Trump predictably couldn't help himself within literal minutes of Clinton's statement hitting the airwaves. Old Donnie Diapers was rage posting on Truth Social like a teenager who just got dumped before prom.
Of course, given the events of the past week, now the question is, how will it end?
The president must be held accountable. No one is above the law.
There should be an impeachment inquiry opened. And I don't care who you're for in the Democratic primary or whether you're a Republican.
Donald Trump's prospects for impeachment.
Given this latest revelation, which is such a blatant effort to use his presidential position to advance his personal and political interests.
We're talking all caps rants that look like they were typed by someone wearing boxing gloves while riding a mechanical bull. The speed tells you everything. This wasn't just Trump being Trump. This was a raw nerve being stomped on. What's particularly hilarious is that Trump's face reportedly cycled through what one source called the 5 stages of Trump: grief, confusion, denial, rage, incoherent muttering, and finally those Twitter fingers twitching in withdrawal. Poor guy probably misses the days when he could instantly blast his brain droppings to millions of followers without having to use his sad little Truth Social platform that nobody visits
a foreign government for his own political purposes. I think that is very much what the founders worried about in high crimes and misdemeanors. When the President of the United States, who has taken an oath to protect and defend the Constitution, and by that, defend the American people and their interests, uses his position to, in effect, extort.
Well,
So-
what could happen if in another 4 years of the Trump administration?
I don't accept that. I don't believe that will happen. I believe that there were many funny things that happened in my election that will not happen again.
Clinton clearly knew exactly what she was doing. This wasn't some off-the-cuff remark that accidentally set him off. No, this was political chess. While Trump was playing hungry hippos, she crafted her statement with surgical precision, knowing exactly which buttons to push, and boy oh boy, did those buttons get pushed hard. The funniest part, Trump immediately reverted to his greatest hits album, calling her Crooked Hillary for the 10th millionth time. It's like watching a bad comedian who only knows one joke try to work a room. His accusations had absolutely nothing to do with what Clinton actually said, which tells you everything about how rattled he was. It's like someone criticizing your cooking and you responding by accusing them of stealing your car make it make sense. Donald, his posts were so riddled with spelling errors that they looked like they were written by a cat walking across a keyboard. Nothing says, "I'm totally stable," and not at all triggered like misspelling basic words while accusing someone of crimes they were never charged with. Very presidential behavior from our former commander-in-chief. What's truly revealing is how Trump's meltdown completely overshadowed Clinton's actual statement. People weren't even talking about what she said anymore. They were just watching the Trump Tantrum Show season 7 episode 492. He basically tries affected himself. If he had just ignored it or responded with something remotely coherent, this whole thing might have blown over. Instead, he made it 10 times worse, which is basically his superpower at this point, that this pattern of losing complete control whenever certain people criticize him points to some serious insecurities, and those insecurities, they're massive political liabilities. Clinton understands this better than anyone, which is why she was able to provoke such an extreme reaction with such a precisely calibrated statement about the Trump administration's dumb policy decisions. The disproportionate nature of Trump's response suggests Clinton's words hit way deeper than just policy criticism. It's like she found the exact pressure point that makes him go from 0 to nuclear in 3.5 seconds, and for a guy who constantly brags about being tough and strong, he sure does fall apart faster than a cheap umbrella in a hurricane whenever Hillary says his name. What's particularly fascinating is how calculated Clinton's delivery was. She didn't scream or rant, she simply stated her case with the cool confidence of someone who knows exactly what kind of chaos they're about to unleash. It was the political equivalent of calmly placing a lit stick of dynamite and walking away in slow motion while explosions erupt behind you. You know what's fascinating about this whole Trump-Clinton saga? The louder Trump reacts, the more he proves her point. It's like political judo. She barely taps him, and he throws himself to the ground every time someone criticizes him. Especially Clinton, his meltdown becomes the headline instead of what they actually said. Will this particular tantrum matter in the grand scheme? Probably not. Trump's been having Twitter sorry. Truth Social meltdown since dinosaurs roamed the earth, but it reveals something important about his personality. He can't help himself. Clinton played him like a fiddle, and Donnie Diapers delivered exactly what she wanted.